and that's where pensioners at a care home, the Elders' Voice, say they are battling to access their grants. KwaZulu-Natal SASSA beneficiaries have been told to collect their monies from ATMs due to a cash shortage at the post office. Newzroom Afrika's Karinda Jagmohan joining us now for more on this story. Karinda, good morning to you. So the couple or the people I understand you're about to talk to, have they heard the message from the Post Bank suggesting that there may be a shortage of money from their ATMs and rather they should go to retail shops or other ATMs linked to other banks as opposed to Post Bank? Has that message gotten through?
Well, good morning, Chloe. That message has gotten through, but I'm just having a conversation now with the founder of the Elders' Voice, KZN, Joanne Herbst, and she explains that it is difficult for elderly residents to take what for them is a trek, an expensive one, to go to ATMs where they are under threat of being robbed because they are elderly, they are victims, to get their SASSA grant that is ultimately not enough to take care of their needs at this point, especially their medical needs. And as I go into this interview with Joanne, we're also just talking about the abuse and the neglect that residents face from their families who abandon them. And you say Christmas is also the most hardest time when they wait for a call. Joanne, thank you for speaking to us. Let's first talk about the struggles regarding SASSA you've been going through to help the over 270 pensioners that you are helping.
Yeah. So our biggest struggle has been the last 2 months. In the last 2 months, we've had the Post Bank SASSA debacle, where a lot of our residents, 38 of them to be exact, in the last 2 weeks, as such, still haven't received their SASSA grant. This has had a big knock-on effect to those that need to travel to hospitals because they haven't had money to get to hospitals. They haven't had money to go and get their medication. They've missed their medical appointment at the doctor, so they now have to rebook a new appointment. It's not just a matter of walk-in at a government hospital. They have been unable to get their basic needs, their basic toiletries. It's a horrible knock-on effect. Many of these people don't have families who can assist them, and the problem with this is that that money is all they have to depend on. And our people are still within a sheltered environment, but I've come across grannies that are sitting outside Post Bank waiting, or outside ShopRite waiting to try and draw some money, and for the entire month they've been 3 or 4 times borrowing money from people and not having money to get back home, in the hopes that this time around they'll get their SASSA pension. Being now that they have to withdraw to an ATM or a ShopRite or a retail centre, the distances are far. We're talking roughly 56 Rand with an Uber one way. So we're talking 112 Rand return trip, and we hope that you get your money if this is the case. We today have a few people that still don't have their money. Those that didn't receive money last month, some of them have received money this month, but their last month's money is still not in their SASSA card. I have addressed this with SASSA. They in turn have looked on the system. They said that it is reflective from their side. We need to address it with Post Bank. We can't take a bedridden person to Post Bank to sit outside in that heat, or someone in a wheelchair, or someone that's really ill, sit there and try and get Post Bank to sort something out. And to get an official to come here seems to be merely impossible.
As we know that there are struggles for pensioners to access their SASSA grants, but tell me about the forgotten community that pensioners are, and if we as a country are giving enough respect to our elder community.
Old people are the forgotten ones. We forget so easily that they're the people that brought us up, raised us, taught us what we know today, got the infrastructures going that they are today, and things like that. Old people are forgotten. They don't even have a proper chair in Parliament to actually speak up for them and have rights. I'm going to say it, and I'm probably going to get into trouble for it, but the children and the grant for the child grant, all those people got their money. Why was it the problem only with the elderly? Because they're the forgotten ones. They're no longer contributing members of society. So they get outcast and they get put behind, and they are the afterthought in a current country.
Tell me about, we're just talking about Christmas that's around the corner, and I just want to put in light when you say forgotten community and what happens. For example, here, at least there is some assistance, but what happens here?
Okay, so we really try and give them a lovely meal. We try and just make it as festive as we possibly can. The sad thing is when they sit all day through all the festivities holding a cell phone in their hand, waiting for that phone call from a loved one. That just doesn't happen. That is the most gut-wrenching part of a Christmas festive season, when everyone's out there having a really good time. We are struggling to try and put a little gift beneath the tree for them and make them feel like they're part of something, give them a lovely meal. But ultimately, to just even receive a phone call from a loved one is 9 times out of 10 doesn't happen.
So it seems that we've forgotten about our grandmothers, our grandfathers, and they're out here fighting for, I believe, 2,000 rand. They've just got a 10 rand increase.
10 rand increase.
Is this even enough for them?
Are you going to ask a government official if he got a 10 rand increase this year, if that would have been sufficient for him? 10 rand is not even enough to catch a taxi to go and withdraw your money. 10 rand doesn't cover the new bank charges to have to draw at an ATM or at a retail centre. I'm going to rather choose to take the flip on that. 2090 is most definitely not enough.
Joanne, thank you so much for your time and the work that you do as well in this community. She founded the Elders Voice KZN just about 9 years ago, so back in 2015. More than 270 people here in this community that are experiencing issues with SASSA grants, that 2,090 rand, not enough, and still you've just heard how there's not enough love given either to the elders of our country, more respect needed for them, and that's obviously evident in these issues with SASSA.
Karinda Jagmohan, thank you very much for bringing us that story. It is a worrying development indeed. Why it is, and that's the question, why it is that the elderly are sort of last in the queue when it comes to the social grants distribution.